You got your day one fit, baby. You got the H&M shirt. You got them. I think we're looking all right. American Eagle jeans. I got Target boots. What do we think, guys? Looking all right? Let's do it. They did put me at the very end, the mostest of walking. But day one, well, day two, I guess, technically. Mission one, breakfast and coffee. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make it. 5 hours. Do you know the effects of not getting a full 8 to 9 hours? You're supposed to get 8 to 9 hours. I tell you what, for the longest time, I have criticized myself not getting, well, by getting enough sleep. You know, I would kind of sleep deprive myself because I thought that was, you know, better for you. You were tougher, you know. You don't need all that sleep. You're kind of like overly being relaxed. You're being lazy if you sleep too much. I used to do this to myself all the time, but then you realize kind of the negative mental health effects of not getting enough sleep. It's crazy. You know, you don't even jump as high if you don't get enough sleep. I mean, you start to think about it. It makes sense. Your brain literally doesn't function. Give it what it needs. I just had the most interesting breakfast conversation with this gentleman. His name's Nigel. He works for CCPE in England, which is his counseling practice. And he was talking about how he does a lot of studies in lucid dreaming, and he would have his patients do certain actions in lucid dreams, like walking certain directions, and he would have them map out certain figures, like circles or squares. And what he found is that there's always a polarity in these dreams. When you walked forward, one thing would happen, and then when you walked backward, the inverse would happen. And he kind of theorized that this was a mental sort of balancing that would take place in order to compensate for whatever's going on in the psyche. Wild, radically interesting. He would actually, you know, just have people document their dreams, and he would map out what directions they went and make notes about how they improved or kind of what things they learned from these dreams based on the directions that they went. So, very interesting stuff. Good, so I'm sitting here with
Kase Fenley,
nice.
from New York, fashion designer. I run Phenotype, creative director.
Very cool. And you've got this weird little thing over here.
Yeah, they call this is the Hypnodyne. They call it Z-Max. Hypnodyne's the company. And it's the best thing I've found in terms of tech for lucid dreaming.
You put this on your face?
Yeah, well, it has an electrode. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Usually you have an electrode with it, but you just wear it like this, and when it's on, it has 2 light electrodes that can kind of stimulate the eyes.
Oh, so there's little lights that go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little bit different instead of kind of a mask over your face.
Because I've seen the mask one, but it looks like, I don't have it with me, but it looks like a sleep mask like you're on a plane.
Yeah, like
It
the Remy or some of those other ones.
Shines lights. But this one shines lights down.
Yeah, and what's really cool is you can program most of it. So you can change the intensity of the light, the frequency, the colors. You can kind of experiment with it in that regard. Yeah, and you can also use noise, so auditory stimulation, vibration. I found my findings, the devices that are on the market right now are, I think we can do something better.
I haven't been super impressed.
Me neither.
Yeah. It seems like if you got a buddy just shine a flashlight in your eyes while you're sleeping, it's about the same.
It kind of is. And
Just like,
yeah, it's kind of cool because it can detect when you're asleep, of
Can I
course.
see it?
It's not really effective at bringing about lucidity.
okay.
We're about halfway there, I think.
Nice. So this one's not quite the final product yet.
No, and I'm not responsible for it either, but I think you can look at kind of the field of all the devices that have come out, see what they've done well, and look at new technologies that are being developed.
So what does this do? Is it like electrical
So
impulses?
I wish I had an electrode with you, but there's like a gel, like electrode that adheres to your
Kind of like if you're doing a sleep study.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like that, huh?
And it's really, in terms of the comfort, it's the best thing I've found too, because something goes all over your head.
Yeah, it's too much. And
It
it
is.
looks like it's got a slot for,
Recordings.
memory.
Yeah.
So it will record like when you're dreaming and not?
Yeah. So if you're you're sharing with people virtually and you want to share your data with if you're working with some sort of psychologist or researcher, you can share it across remotely. Obviously, it was an advantage for COVID.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know, like what we do with DreamApp is we record people's dreams. So we actually just hit a huge milestone, 2 million user inputs of DreamApp.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 2 million.
There's a couple people I need to introduce you to users.
Yeah, and so we're looking to like partner with different things like maybe some Apple Watch tech, maybe some lucid dreaming tech in order to introduce this stuff to make it a more immersive experience. Like, I mean, it would be great if the end result was you woke up and it told you what you dreamed.
Definitely, yeah.
But that's some years in the future, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting technology out right now that people are experimenting with. I think the key is like we have to figure out how do you bring about lucidity? What is the key part that's responsible for it? And I think you can talk about things like neural networks and kind of those new emerging technologies.
This is making me think, someone this morning was talking about the pineal gland, and so that sits right over top of it. I don't know if that's the design of it.
No, this doesn't really do any stimulation. Yeah, there's some stuff that could be done, but I think that's the biggest problem we face right now. Is like if we want to start conducting research in a stable way, and all of our research is conducive to people who already know how to lucid dream. We want people that don't know how to lucid dream to have access to this tool. We have to create a tool that solves that fundamental problem of how can we consistently become lucid.
I think I've had one lucid dream. I was like 10 years old. It's even hard to remember my dreams in the morning. I have to really work at it.
Yes. Yeah, and there's several things that are responsible for that. Like, I find even the environment can affect that. Sometimes when I'm in,
the amount of sleep, stress, my environment.
Well, and what I've talked with a lot of people here, it's like, it's really just your awareness. So if you're very distracted throughout the day, it's very hard to recall and be aware in a state where you're, barely even aware in the first place. So right. That makes like being in New York versus coming out here a challenge if you want to become lucid. Yeah.
But this isn't even your main thing. You're a fashion designer.
Kind of unconventionally. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so that's not a conventional designer background. I didn't go to fashion school either. But kind of
sometimes that's the best though,
exactly.
Outside of the system.
You're right, and I think it allowed me to have a perspective, kind of looking at the fashion industry from that perspective. I was like, well, what's going on there? And what I learned was it was the last industry without websites, so it is very slow to innovate and change. And me, kind of as like an entrepreneur, I love to disrupt and innovate. What can I contribute to this industry? So, in combination with lucid dreaming, I would say our goal it's not to create the best fashion, the most elaborate, renowned design house.
Right.
Our goal is to create a method for artists, designers, engineers to tap into lucid dreams and use that. So we're experimenting. The pieces we put out are experiments, but
so this is more about innovation for people who are already making designs.
Yes.
So it's not like Louis Vuitton and then Kase Fenley. It's like Kase Fenley's helping Louis Vuitton make.
Well, yeah, Louis Vuitton, or just think of any designer or any renowned artist. I mean, I'm interested to see what they would create in that state. What that experience would be like.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, well, that's what's exciting me. Is like
that's wild.
Yeah, it could be very disruptive. You
guys could have your own show with all the designers who are influenced by lucid dreaming.
Right.
That could be the theme of the show.
Well, that's going to happen eventually. It's just this is kind of the first goal, and what I've just found with our own design process as a team is not being able to get into a lucid dream consistently is like a bottleneck. It restricts how much we can design and how much we can go back and experiment further.
Yeah, it's like imagine you have to go to the office Monday through Friday, but you don't know if you'll actually get there.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like I got to show up for work, but maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't.
Yeah, it really
lucid dreaming is your office.
Yes, it's like is he going to show up today or not? Is he going to be able to get this done by the deadline or not? And that's that is kind of the problem.
Well, so I'm vlogging this the whole conference every day. Where can they find more about you, or do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, my ad is Kase, Kase, Fenley, and then our brand is called Phenotype.
Nice.
Appreciate you, brother.
This is great.
Yes, sir.
This is great.
Likewise.
So I've never gotten recognized in person, but this guy, tell him what you do. Recognize me. He came up. He's like, I follow you on TikTok.
Yes.
It never happened.
Jesse.
So I'm having a fangirl moment. Tell me a little about yourself. What you do.
Well, I'm actually I have a dream journal app, Dreamwell, and I also apparently follow Jesse on TikTok and recognize him in person.
I guess so. This is a monumental moment for me. Thank you. No, he's got a cool app. It's really neat. It's Dream Journal.
Yep.
I just downloaded it. It's great.
Cool.
Making cool connections.
Great.
Thanks, man. Would you look at this, man? Wow. You see that waterfall back there, dude? It's insane, man. End of day 2. We'll call day 1 the day that I got here. This is the end of day 2. Learned so many crazy things. I did not know that there's a huge push currently in the research community for lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is like the big topic right now, and I had no clue. Gosh, I'm so winded because it's so... I'm used to flat in Florida, which is at sea level. This is a little bit higher elevation, so I'm winded, dude. It's also been a long day, but look how beautiful everything is. Oh my gosh. I also got to meet the guy. His name is Dr. Labarge, and he was the first to actually document lucid dreaming. Well, not the first, but the first to get it recognized as a real thing. And he's the #1 researcher on lucid dreams and like their use and, you know, what works and what doesn't. He created the mild technique and WBTB, wake back to bed technique, which are 2 of the most prolific and most well-documented lucid dreaming techniques. So maybe I'll talk about him soon. Really cool to like meet him. What a weird guy. He looks like a turtle. Definitely could not figure out how to present himself on Zoom. He was in person, but he's trying to present on Zoom too, and that was a little bit tough for him. But wow, what a time, man. And to see him in person, crazy. These people you read about, these people you read scientific articles about, but you know, you get to see him in person. It's just, it makes it so much more magical, you know? Huge push in lucid dreaming. There's also this girl, I'm gonna see if I can have her on the podcast. She built a device where you can tweet from a dream. I'll have to explain how it works later, but basically by tracking eye movement and using Morse code, she can track what her eyes are doing and send Morse code messages from a lucid dream to make a live tweet from her dream about what's going on. Very rudimentary. You can only use like short words, but it's just kind of crazy that we're making these progressive movements. Like we're making this progress in the dream community about all these crazy, crazy things. I'm super excited about it. So met some amazing people. Met this fashion designer who, like you saw him, he uses lucid dreaming to create his next like fashion concepts. It's just wild stuff, man. I'm having the best time. Can't wait to share all of it with you. Got some great contacts. Maybe we'll get them on the podcast, like I said. But man, just learning all these cool things. Lucid dreaming seems to be the topic of the day. I'll keep you posted. Stay around for day 3.